Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Thanks for joining me today. I have this mirror that I thrifted a long time ago. It had a shelf on it, but that broke off. So I'm going to remove the brackets, and I'm just going to do that by unscrewing them at the back. I'm going to keep those brackets for another project, and then I'm just taking some coarse grit sandpaper and smoothing out all of the rough edges. I decided I wanted to build a little box at the bottom here, so what I'm doing is just pre-drilling some holes for the screws. Once I had the first side drilled, then I just used a ruler to make sure that the holes on the opposite side were going to be level and the same distance apart. For the box wood, I'm just using some pieces of pallet that I cut down to the size that I needed, and now I'm just marking where I need to pre-drill the holes. I'm using the same screws that were in the brackets that I just removed, and what I'm doing now is just starting the screw into the back of the wood just so I can match up the drill holes on the other side. Now it's really easy to just finish screwing in the wood pieces. With the side pieces in, then it's really easy to just attach the front part right into the sides. I've got my bottom piece measured out. It's just a little bit shy of being the full bottom, but that's okay. You're not really going to see it because it's at the bottom, and I'm just going to screw that in place. Now it's time to paint. I've masked off the mirror, and I'm going to start by using this Kills Original Primer. It's a stain blocker. I've noticed when I've been using some of these darker stained wood pieces that sometimes the red tones in the stain bleed through and turn the white pink, and I don't want that to happen anymore. I've had enough of those issues, so I've decided to just use that Kills primer. I have that from a previous project up at our cottage, so I'm just going to use it. I'm going to use Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white, and I'm going to use my Bennett chalk paint brush to apply it. It's going to need 2 coats, but I'm really happy with how there was no staining, no bleeding coming through at all. I want to give a shout out to Yvonne over at Ginger Chick Rehab. I have been following her channel since she started, and she does a lot of thrifting with her husband Chris. They do a lot of thrift flips, makeovers, and they're always priming. They're always putting a base coat of black underneath all of their projects. And for a while I thought, maybe you don't have to do that all the time. But now that I see how different it looks and makes a really big difference in how your paint goes on, I am sold. So thank you, Yvonne. Please go check out Yvonne's channel. I'll have it down in my description box. Tell her I sent you. Everything's completely dry, and now I'm taking some coarse grit sandpaper and distressing the top of the mirror and the box just a little bit. I want to bring out some of that dark stained wood underneath and make it look like it's been aged to perfection. I'm going to add some of the floral foam into the box so I can add some florals. I will be cutting it to measure so it fits right into the bottom of the box, and then I'm going to glue it in with my Weldbond glue because I want whoever gets this in their home to be able to switch out the flowers if they choose to. The greenery that I'm going to use is to the left there. It's a eucalyptus bush, but I didn't like that color, so I took it outside and I just gave it a little misting of white spray paint, and voila, I've got greenery that looks like lamb's ear. Like I always do, I trim off the bushes, the stems. I make sure that I have small pieces to work with. And what I'm doing here is just pushing some of the stems up a little higher to make it a little bit more bushy up top. I'm going to go and use the odd number rule. So 1, 3, 5. I want to make sure that I only have 5 to start of the greenery, and then I'll probably do the same with the lavender. It just looks a lot prettier and more professional if you use those kinds of numbers. Here you can see that I've put 5 stems of the greenery in, and now I'm going to start with my favorite lavender. I get this at my local Dollarama. It's $1.25 for this whole big stem, and I love to use this in all of my projects, so you will see it a lot. I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to trim off the stems and then add them in little bunches. I'm putting the 5th piece of lavender in, so now I have 2 at the back and 3 at the front. The next thing I'm going to do is just take some smaller pieces and use them as fillers and just fill in the rest of the arrangement. I really like how this turned out. It was my first attempt at creating a box on top of something, but I think it might be missing something. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you think this little white area needs to have some words on it, like flower market, welcome, home. Let me know in the comments what you would put on it. This next part of my video is for all of those YouTube creators out there who want to know how to add your video to a challenge or collab playlist. I know when I first started my channel, this was a hard thing for me to get a grasp on, so I'd like to help you out. The first step is to know where to find your host's playlist link. Some people put them in their video that they upload that day. Some people post them in their community, and some people have even posted them on the invite video. If you're not sure, watch the invite video again and your host will let you know. Here's an example. This is Kenya's Decor Corner, and this past weekend she had a summer lantern collab. She posts her playlist link in her description box. So I've gone to her video, then I click on show more so I can see the remainder of her description box. Scroll down to where you can find some playlist links. Kenya has 2 of them listed. The first one is just for people to view. The second one is for the creators. That's the link you want to click. A page will appear that has a playlist plus a blue continue button in the upper right hand corner. When you click that continue button, that gives you permission to add your video to the playlist. Now that doesn't mean that your video has been added. You have a couple of other steps that you need to do. Go back to your YouTube studio and find the video that you want to add to this playlist. You're going to hit those 3 little buttons next to your video. Here you have the ability to click on View on YouTube. That's what you'll need to do. In the bottom right hand corner, you're going to see the word Save. This is what you need to click. You want to save your video to a new playlist. And that playlist should now appear in your list. You're going to want to click that so it has a blue square with a white check mark. Once that's done, you can just click the X to close the window. What you'll want to do next is check the playlist to see if your video is there. The other thing you can do is go to your own playlists and check that that playlist is saved. Then you want to add the playlist link to your description box because that just helps out the host. The most important thing to remember during all of this is hitting the refresh button. The host channel needs to be refreshed. Your channel needs to be refreshed. That's the only way that you can see if changes are being made. The hardest part about getting your video onto a playlist is getting that link as quickly as possible. You'll need to continue refreshing the host's channel until you see the playlist link appear, either in her description box, in her community, or on her invite video. I'll have written instructions for this tutorial down in my description box. If you enjoyed this type of content and you'd like to see more, let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any other questions, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching my video straight to the end. If you're new, hit that red subscribe button and the blue bell to get notified when I upload new content. See you in the next one.